Hello everyone, my name is Will, and welcome to the first video that was originally made for this new channel. As I said on my main channel, I made this new channel specifically for these sort of sit-down talk videos. I plan to be focusing mostly on mental health for now, but I do plan to do some political related videos in the future. That's not really something I'm looking to do right now with everything going on, and I don't want to contribute to the sort of divisiveness going on in the US right now. So I thought right now is probably a better time for me to be posting videos like this, where with everyone stuck at home, a lot of people's mental health issues have definitely gotten worse. I know mine did for a period of time. For these first sets of videos, I plan to go in depth on the more sort of, I guess, less commonly talked about mental health issues because I think they're the ones that need the most light right now. I made a video talking about this probably freshman year of high school. I wanted to make an updated version of that video because harm OCD is not something I really deal with now. So I think I have a different perspective on it, being able to look back and sort of be able to tell you some of the things I did that helped me cope with it. So I'm going to start off talking about what harm OCD is. So harm OCD is sort of a certain subset of OCD that essentially revolves around obsessing over harming yourself or others. But most of the people that seek treatment for harm OCD are people that obsess over hurting other people. And now, for me personally, this is one of the most debilitating sort of mental health issues I've ever gone through. And the main reason for that is it's one of those sort of issues that legitimately makes you feel like you're going crazy. Because, at least for me, and based off some of the comments I got in my original video about this, people tend to think that they're becoming sociopaths and that they genuinely want to hurt people. But something I want to get out of the way right now is there is a very, very big difference between having harm OCD and wanting to hurt people. If what you truly have is harm OCD, then you don't want to hurt people. What harm OCD essentially is intrusive thoughts that revolve around hurting other people. So people that have this will very vividly picture themselves hurting another person, and many times that can turn into these obsessive like compulsions to do that, but it's not the same as wanting to. And I think that's something that a lot of people with harm OCD really need to hear for their own well-being, is that if you're struggling with this, it just doesn't mean you want to hurt people. Harm OCD is something that really, for me at least, was the most prevalent in my life in middle school and early high school. And now I'm not going to try to like theorize what causes this specific kind of OCD. I think it's one of those things where if you already have OCD, especially on the more moderate to severe side of it, you could be prone to having these sort of symptoms. In terms of treating it, if it's bad enough, I would definitely say see a therapist for it. But for people like me, what helped me was really sort of realizing that they're just intrusive thoughts and being able to sort of sit down and calm down and try not to get lost in those thoughts, which I know is easier said than done, but simply realizing that it's only OCD and not an actual urge to hurt people can really make a huge difference in how you look at it. And I know it did for me, because when I actually did deep research on this, it gave me this inner sense of relief. And unfortunately, there's not that many people online that talk about this. Now, in terms of medication to deal with this, I've never taken any psychiatric meds to deal with this. I have tried SSRIs and they react extremely badly with me, which I might make a video about in the future. Have an open mind when I say this, because I know that CBD is sort of one of those things that everyone's like raving about, and I mean, yeah, it's a little bit overblown what the benefits are, but I will say OCD is one of those things, at least for me, where it actually works for. It's really good at sort of calming your mind down, and I kind of use it how someone would use something like benzos for anxiety if they're having a panic attack. For me, CBD is really all I need, and I would suggest that you look into that if you get these like random intense attacks. But like I said, there's a good chance that you simply realizing what's really going on in your head can be a huge first step into dealing with this on your own. And I understand it can be really difficult to talk to people about this because people do think a little negatively about people like this because they don't understand it. And I know that I've avoided telling people because I didn't want people to be afraid of me. But find someone that you really trust if you need to talk about it. I mean, I'll even talk about it with you if there's no one else you're comfortable saying this kind of stuff to. But it is just one of those things that society needs to keep more of an open mind on, because I don't really know if there's necessarily a stigma necessarily, but it's not something that's really talked about. And the reasons why people don't talk about this are very clear. I mean, anyone that deals with this will understand what I mean by saying it. I mean, there's obvious reasons why someone wouldn't want to tell people this. But I am now just to give some sort of support and let you know that there is a bright side to this. It's not permanent. I've noticed with OCD, my symptoms really do fluctuate and change almost on a yearly basis. And I do think that the harm OCD side of it was the worst for me. But like I said, it is one of those things that once you learn to accept it for what it is and try to preoccupy yourself and get yourself sort of out of your head when you're thinking those thoughts, it makes all the difference. So I hope I covered everything that I needed to cover. I'm not sure what else there really is to say about this other than if it's bad enough, definitely see a therapist or even just talk to a friend. And if it's on the really severe side of it, maybe even try meds. If there are any other sort of OCD related topics that you'd be interested in hearing, definitely let me know, because I have had so many like really bizarre OCD issues over the years, and I'm sure other people can relate to them. I think YouTube is a really good platform to relate on these more specific issues that aren't really talked about. And if you enjoyed this, then definitely consider subbing, because I am planning on doing a ton more of these. So yeah, thanks for watching.